Give in but Bonanova's got the prize, a Group 1 win, trained by Graham Begg. Peter Donegan of the Mounting Yard.
Thank you very much, Dan. Graham, this has been a while in the planning. Congratulations.
Yeah, Peter, we planned this this race for some 5 months ago after she won in Brisbane, and we decided to give her a very light spring and get her ready for the autumn in Sydney. And, we set her for this race specifically, and it's all come to plan,
Lovely patient ride too.
It was, and, the problem is, we weren't that happy with the track, and she's much better on top of the ground, but Jimmy knows her well, and he just said, I've got to hold her together and sort of make one run on her, and he did so, and he's got the money.
There's not much of her, but she's got a big motor.
Yeah, she certainly has. She never stops trying. She's such a powerful mare behind. She's not very tall, but she's very strong, So she's a very valuable mare.
She has always been very valuable, and she is today too. Well done, Graham.
Thanks very much.
Here's the winning jockey, Jimmy Cassidy. Lovely patient ride, as we said. Here he is with Johnny Letts.
Yes, Jimmy, you've had 4 rides on this mare for 3 wins.
Yeah, look, she's a great little mare, Lettsy. She's only a little bit of doubt in the track today because on top of the ground, she's so explosive that last 200.
Yes, and you was telling me that you and Eddie Wilkinson, they bought you at the auction for $12,000 to go to the leading riders, the group wins over the carnival.
Yeah, and
what were the details? How much did they pay for you?
$12,500 to win 96, I think, first pull. Me and Eddie Wilkinson were combined, and that gives me 3 Group 1s, and Eddie won the Toorak, so that's four between us, and Cornell at the Emirates the last day.
Well, you've collected 90 grand for someone.
Yeah, very happy.
Yes, Jimmy, great win, and she's a very, very good mare, isn't she?
She's a great little mare, and she's just been taken over by Jim Fleming, bought from Neville Begg, and she's a great little mare, little mare.
The Begg family's hard to beat when they come to Melbourne, aren't they?
Oh, he's a great trainer. He's learned plenty from his dad.
I think he has. Good luck, Jimmy.
He is a fine trainer, and that is a fine little racehorse. She is just 100% trying every time she gets out there. And here she is with the square around her. Bonanova swooping down the outside with this run. The pace was pretty genuine in the early stages when Go Flash Go went to the front. That's in the white colours, and those two had a great battle. When they came past us, I just got the feeling that might have even held Bonanova, but she just puts her little head down and her bottom up, and she finds the winning post. Every time she gets out there on the racecourse, she gives her all, and she's done it again today. I think she'll be a tired racehorse tomorrow, and practically every time after she races. Jimmy Cassidy, beautiful judge of pace. He let them go quickly in front, and then came with a withering run down the outside. And here he comes back to scale now, the pumper, Jimmy Cassidy. He's had some big wins here at Flemington over the years. Of course, we remember Kiwi back in '83 and Might and Power in '97 in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. But today he wins the last of the major races of this carnival for 1999 aboard this Starway mare, Bonanova number 6. Terrific effort by the second horse, Umrun number 3. He was gallant in defeat. And third home going to number 8, Nina Haraka. So the 3,000 owners have got something to cheer about. Officially 4th in the race was number 10, and that was Vetiver, which came from a long way back. Jimmy Cassidy accepting the applause of the crowd as he comes back to scale aboard Bonanova. LA Suez was one of the top picks in the race, and it went poorly. It was never in the race. Dan said in his call that the horse did get a bit of a prat at the start. It was back at the tail of the field, but really didn't make any ground at all, and he was a disappointing run. The pumper. Oh, yeah, I think he's happy, and so he should be, after taking out this Group 1 race worth $500,000. The Winning Connections picking up a cool $325,000, and that wonderful trophy that we've already seen. Well done to Jimmy Cassidy, well done to Graham Begg and the owners of Bonanova, the Emirates Stakes champion of 1999. We'll take a break and be back with the weight signal, the dividends, and the presentation to the Winning Connections after this Around Australia on 10. Bonanova striding home to take the victory in the Emirates Stakes over the gallant Umrun, and Nina Haraka getting home to finish very close up in 3rd placing. And the margins there were a neck by a long neck, so it was tight at the end. Time for the trip was 1:38.2. That's 4.2 seconds outside the record, so genuinely we are on a dead track. Weights there, correct weight for those placings after the running of the Emirates Stakes. 6, 3 and 8 are the numbers brought to you by Mochi. So the dividends, Dan, are now official.
$5.30 and $2.30 the win and place return on Super Tab for number 6 Bonanova, 3 Umrum, $8 and 8 Nina Haraka, $4.40. Third time this preparation she's been placed at Group 1 level. Quinella paid $112.30, Exacta $155.30, the trifecta $2,599.10, and the race-to-race double $35.90. The man who was spot on again where the money was, and the money was for Bonanova, Tim Gossage.
Dan Malecki was probably, from my eyes in the last 4 days, clearly the best back winner so far of the carnival. It was a massive go. Bookmakers are stunned by the result of Bonanova. It was a massive tip on course. And Peter Donegan, Leon McDonald trains Umrum, beaten in that last. Some consolation. 2 minutes ago, he won the feature race at Morfordville.
Oh, well, that is some consolation. I'm sure he would have preferred this one, but Little Fish are sweet too, Tim Gossage. And well done to Tim for tipping us into that information there. What's wrong, Jen?
I'm getting blown away now.
Well, I think the connections at Bonanova probably felt as though they were being blown away because they were really excited. So too was Jimmy Cassidy, the pumper, when he came back to scale. You could see that he took particular delight in that win, and there are some very happy connections, and so they should be too, because there's a lot of money at stake and a lot of prestige at stake in winning a race like that.
She's just been a fabulous mare, hasn't she? Yes, it's got very windy here, I must say. But no, Bonanova, she's just been a great mare, and we hope she's around for a bit longer, because who knows when she's going to go to stud. Shortly
we'll have a look at the Village Roadshow welter and the pumper, giving it the salute to the media and the happy owners. Yeah, I think Jimmy enjoyed that as much as the win. And he'll enjoy looking back at the replay of that race and seeing what a beautifully judged race he did ride. Shortly, the presentation. The next is race 7, the Village Roadshow welter. It's coming up at 3:25. Before we have a look at that, there are the placings. Bonanova defeating Umrum and Nina Haraka, 6, 3 and 8. Veti Via finishing in 4th placing. La Zagaleta was right on the heels. Dessa's Dream loomed up about the 250, Jen. Strident ran a pretty good race. Caniana wasn't that far away. Then Babetto, Rebel finished 10th, and then down to the others. Blackbean had a lovely trail throughout the race, but just didn't go on. LA Suez ran past a few tired horses, but it was a poor effort, really. Go Flash Go made the pace and dropped out.
Yes, he was disappointing for sure.
And Northern Drake, Noircia and Pursuits finished at the tail of the field. OK, we're ready for the presentation after the principal race, the Emirates Stakes. Here's our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Gaylard.
Thank you very much, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria's premier Group 1 event, of course, over the mile, and the Emirates Stakes. Congratulations to all concerned. But may I introduce to you the VRC chairman, Mr. Andrew Ramsden, to begin our proceedings.
Right Honourable Lord Mayor Peter Costigan, ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This Emirates Stakes race, the best of many years, has been won by Bonanova. A very gallant victory, I must say. The end of our magnificent 4-day carnival, the last of the 1900s, is drawing near. And hopefully when the final figures have been counted, we'll all be part of yet another record attendance. I hope you've all had a great time. I wish to thank our sponsor Emirates for their ongoing support of Victorian racing, which matches their commitment to servicing Melbourne as one of their major international airports. Emirates have been winners of countless awards for being the world's best airline, and we also wish to congratulate them on now being able to add Sydney to their international network. This is Emirates' 2nd year of sponsorship for this day, and I sincerely hope it will continue for many years. My congratulations to the winning owner, Mr. Jim Fleming. Please step forward.
Mr. Andrew Ramsden, Chairman of the VRC, Lord Mayor, distinguished guest, Mr. Eddie Lim from Emirates, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we brought Bonanova here to run in 2 races only, and she's won both. She now goes for a spell before competing in Sydney and then on to Queensland before going to stud next year. I'd like to thank Neville Begg and his son Graham, and Graham of course is the trainer, but I bought the mare from Neville and I'd like to thank him for that. For Jimmy Cassidy for a great ride, a little bit of heart stopping there at the finish, but Jimmy got there. Congratulations to both of them. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful day.
My congratulations to Graham Begg. It's a great achievement to set a horse for a race and win it, and I think that should be congratulated most sincerely. Well done.
Mr. Ramsden, VRC committee, Emirates Airlines. What can I say about Bonanova? Well, she's done it all today. She's been knocking on the door to win a Group 1. She's run 3 seconds in Group 1s, and she's competed at the highest level right around Australia. And she gives us a lot of thrills. I've got to thank my father, my mother, who raced her previously, and thank Mr. Jim Fleming and his lovely wife Angela for keeping her in training with me. And I'd like to thank my wife and the kids back at home and all the staff at Barrelmore Lodge. Thank you.
When the trainer sets the horse for a race, you need a good jockey. And Jim Cassidy excelled himself again for a fine winning ride. Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, members of your committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, well, it certainly gives me great pleasure to be standing here to win back-to-back Emirates. I'd like to thank Emirates. They're a great sponsor, and to win back-to-back has really topped my carnival off. I'd certainly like to thank Mr. Fleming. Graham Begg is one of our star up-and-coming young trainers. He's proved that before, and he's proved it here again today at Flemington. To all Graham Begg staff, every win is always a team effort, I believe, and I'd like to thank everybody that's contributed. I'd like to have this opportunity to thank everybody that's attended the carnival throughout the last week, to the media, to all the pumper fans out there, thanks very much. Ring-a-ding-ding. I've ended up king today. See you again next year. Thank you.
Ring-a-ding-ding, Pumpers King. Yeah, he lacks a bit of confidence, but when he comes out of his shell, he'll be okay. Jimmy Cassidy, good luck to him. Terrific win there by Jim aboard Bonanova. And here's a man who's earned his money this week, the chairman of stewards, Des Gleeson. Des, thanks for your time. It's been a busy carnival for you.
It's been an extremely busy carnival, Pete, particularly on Tuesday, and we were working till well into the night. In fact, we didn't leave the stewards room until past 9 o'clock, but today it's been very much better today, a lot quieter today.
Well, I did send a message home for you the other day after the Melbourne Cup. I suggested that you wouldn't be home for dinner.
Yes, Helen got that message, so she was well and truly prepared, Pete.
What have you got there for us? This is the saddle that Grant Cooksley used in the Melbourne Cup?
Yes, unfortunately, Grant Cooksley was dislodged from Ablemaster through no interference at all. He used this saddle, which is a very light saddle. It's a saddle that's been made in Italy. And the offside stirrup leather, which is connected to the saddle there, actually broke. And due to that, he was dislodged from his horse. But it is a small saddle. Grant was having difficulty making the weight, and he did borrow a much lighter saddle, this one. But we are a little bit concerned with these saddles, and they're now barred from being used in Victoria until such time as they've been tested to show that they are safe to use in races.
What would that weigh, Des? Less than 250 grams or something
yes,
like that?
Less than 250 grams. It is an extremely light saddle. They have been used successfully in Hong Kong and Macau, I believe, but we do require further testing before we'll allow them to be used in Australia.
Were you disappointed what happened in the Melbourne Cup?
Well, yes, I've had the press in today, and I've showed the entire running of the Melbourne Cup to the press, and initially with the interference at the 500 metres the first time, that was disappointing. Gary Gwills was suspended for a month for causing that interference, and there was a chain reaction back through the field. And then near the winning post the first time, when Central Park moved up outside the worry, the pace did steady. It didn't slow to a walk, but it did steady. And several horses back through the field were checking off the heels of the horses in front of them, and a lot of shuffling took place. And running down the riverside, the English horse, Yavana's Pace, was uncomfortable racing in amongst horses, and it did shift ground on numerous occasions and cause interference to other runners.
Did you find anyone at fault in the incident with the hind?
No, we didn't, and I've explained it to the press and run it in slow motion on a number of occasions for the press. The hind, or Travelmate rather, came out from behind Central Park and obtained a narrow run between the hind and Central Park. Drogan Josh at that precise time shifted in slightly. It was then brushed on the hindquarters by Zarzabel, which turned its hindquarters in, and Central Park shifted out slightly, and as a result, Travelmate and the hind were jammed in there for some strides.
And here it is now, and you can see the hind is the horse in the black sleeves.
That's right.
And that's Central Park with the white face, and watch the hind there. Yeah. Gee, he was lucky to stay up, wasn't he?
He was, but they were racing tight for some strides before that incident due to the shift from both horses. Now, we didn't hold any one rider fully responsible for that, but we did tell Frankie Dettori, whose horse did shift a half a horse under pressure. We did reprimand him him, severely reprimanded him and told him that he's got to make a greater effort to keep them straight. But it was very unfortunate for the connections of the hind, but clearly on the video and from the evidence of all the riders that no one rider was fully responsible for that.
We always appreciate your time. Thanks for your cooperation right throughout the Spring Racing Carnival. And just one thing, stop pinching our lollies, will you?
They were very nice too. The rest of the panel wouldn't mind
there you go.
But thanks very much, Pete. I'll tell you what, there won't be many left by the last race.
I'm sure there won't. Des, thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Des Gleeson joining us here on our Melbourne Cup coverage, and always good to keep sweet with the Chief Steward, Tim.
Absolutely, and you just gleaned that it might have just got a little silly here this afternoon after the Quartermain onslaught up here. We're still recovering.
I'll bet you are.
There's stuff all over the floor. It's unbelievable. Thanks, Peter. Well, you win a Group 1 is fantastic. To win it during Melbourne Cup week is just absolutely sensational. She is a Bonnie mare, is Bonanova.
They're off and racing now. Then Nina Haraka as they turn into the Umram and Bonanova. Bonanova and Umram, they're going to go to the line and hit it together. Bonanova won
Magnificent week so far. A little cloudy today, but the rain has by and large held off. A few little showers here and there, but everyone here on Emirates Stakes Day is having a fantastic time. Final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. Of course, the Spring Carnival continues for a while yet. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the Phantom Race Call, Maggie's Race of the Century. Here is the race. Go to one.
All set for the Maggie Melbourne Cup of the Century, and they're off. And a huge roar erupts around Flemington as Windbag on the inside jumped away smartly with Even Stevens and Rain Lover. In the middle, Farlap began pretty well with Vintage Crop and Comic Court. Wider out, Night Watch was slow from the outside. Let's Elope hooking across the back of the field. Might and Power didn't begin all that well. He's well back when they settle, and Rising Fast has taken a while to find his feet as they link up with the course proper the first time. And Johnny Letts has taken Belldale Ball to the lead, just in front of Skipton and Windbag as they come down to the 400 in the first circuit. Galilee's in a nice spot from Vintage Crop, and then Rain Lover and Peter Pan. Comic Court has settled in about 8th placing from Night March and Revenue, then Poseidon. Farlap back in the centre of the field from Wotan, and then at Talac. Might and Power well back from Baystone. Even Stevens. Rimfire's giving them a tidy start down the straight the first time. Then Rising Fast, Let's Elope, Revette, Night Watch, Think Big, and Empire Roses last of all as they come to the judge with a lap to go. Turning out of the straight now, heading towards the 2200. Belldale Ball the leader. Comic Court in second placing from Galilee and Windbag. Rain Lovers enjoyed a beautiful run in the early stages, and they were followed by Vintage Crop and then Skipton. Peter Pan well back from Night March, Revenue, Poseidon. Farlap starting a run around the outside, and there's one lost the rider. Night Watch has lost the rider back in the field, and going around them quickly. Farlap improving his spot as they head towards the 1600 metre mark now. Belldale Ball led Windbag and Galilee. Comic Court in third placing. Farlap's gone up to 5th. Then came Vintage Crop, Rain Lover, Skipton. Further back was Peter Pan from Even Stevens. Night March on the outside of Revenue. Then Poseidon, Revette, Might and Power still well back from Wotan. Baystone's a long way back. Rising Fast only with a few behind him. They include Rimfire, Empire Rose, at Talac, Let's Elope, and Think Big last of all as they go past the halfway mark. They're in the Melbourne Cup at the far side of the course now. And Belldale Ball and Windbag together. Johnny Letts and Windbag. That's appropriate. Galilee in third placing. Farlap is 4th. He's had a lovely run. Vintage Crop next from Peter Pan. The field fairly strung out at this stage. Then Rain Lover, Comic Court, Skipton. Might and Power's improving his spot around the outside, being tacked up by Rising Fast. Then Poseidon, Revette, Even Stevens. Baystone well back from Wotan, Revenue, Night March, Empire Rose. Then came further back Let's Elope from at Talac, Rimfire. Think Big has dropped out last, and of course Night Watch lost the rider over there as they come to the 800 metre mark in the Melbourne Cup. heading towards the turn. Windbag is about to be tackled by Farlap, and the big red strides up on the outside. Galilee looking for a run third, then Rain Lover, Comic Cord. Further back was Skipton coming into the picture, followed by Revette, and Peter Pan is right there when the whips are cracking. Might and Power coming to the outside, rising fast, getting between horses. Then Belldale, Ball and Skipton at the 400-metre mark, and Farlap has gone to the lead. Break away from Peter Pan and Windbag, then Galilee and Revette. Rain Lover further back. Here comes Rising Fast and Might and Power down the outside. Coming down towards the 200, the big red terror, Farlap in front. Rising Fast is closing quickly on the outside, and then Might and Power. Rising Fast runs up to Farlap. 100 metres to go. Purtell riding hard, and Rising Fast is going to win the Melbourne Cup of the Century. 2 legs to Farlap, Might and Power, and Gallant third. Then Rain Lover lets alone, followed by Galilee, Comic Cord, Peter Pan. Well back was Revette from Night March, Vintage Crop, even Stevens.
Well done, Peter Donegan. And the winner of our Magi competition, Elizabeth Pryor from Mount Waverley, which is one of the eastern suburbs here in Melbourne. Well done, Elizabeth, correctly calling or writing down Rising Fast. And our thanks to Magi too for the competition. The reason I'm laughing is I am the greatest Jonah for weather of all time, because I've just said a minute ago the rain's by and large held off up to this point in time, and now it's absolutely doing you know what down here, and the winds got up and the weather's got decidedly ordinary. So Peter, you've actually got me to thank for that.
Yeah, well, it's lovely down here, Tim. So thanks very much for that.
No problem.
It's been absolutely delightful here for about the last 3 minutes or so. We're expecting Jen to do a Mary Poppins any minute now. She'll be flying down towards you in any tick of the clock. What are you laughing at?
Who's responsible for this?
Jim Webster. He said it was going to go around the course, but we have been lucky all throughout the carnival, so a few spots of rain I don't think we can complain about. The problem is there's going to be a few more than a few. Let's go on to race 7, the Village Roadshow Welter. They're on their way to the stalls. 2,000 metres is the journey. Starting time 3:25. Here are the tote figures now, and we can see that Valiant Bid number 5 is the favourite at $3.70. Also in contention, 2 Kingston Way at $9.50, 3 Typhoon at $4.90, and number 6 Western Outlaw is also in the betting at $7.60. And over the page we go then to see if there are any chances amongst the others, and there certainly is. Number 11 Joe Bananas is also in contention at $7 even. 294,000 in the win pool here for race 7, the Village Roadshow Welter, and they're taking every bit of shelter they can find here. The jockeys can't do it though. Frenzell Rom number 1, Jen, to be ridden by Danny Brereton for John Hickmott.
Well, he won first up, Peter. He came from off midfield on that occasion, and it was a pretty good effort from him. He is a handy horse. He has got 59 kilos, so that's a bit of a worry.
Number 2 is Kingston Way, John Marshall, the rider for Simon Morris.
Oh dear.
Keep going, Jen. The crowd's cheering for you.
Water. I can't see my eyes.
Apart from that, everything's all right.
Yeah. Kingston Way, he's very much an improved horse, and since going to Simon Morris, that is, he races up on the pace. No, he's a lot fitter, and I think he's a chance. 3
is Typhoon, Damien Oliver, the rider for Bart Cummings at Randwick.
He's got a definite class drop here, and Damien Oliver takes up the ride. He worked very hard. He was wide last start on the pace, and I thought you could forgive him for that run. I think he's got a terrific chance here.
Number 4, Triumph, Aaron Spiteri takes the ride for Kevin Garland at Ballarat.
He's a horse that likes to get up on the pace. He's racing very well, and he's a Flemington 2,000 metre winner.
Number 5, Valiant Bid, Jimmy Cassidy is the replacement rider. Jason Patton not riding here today. Peter Hayes trains.
A bit of an up-and-comer, this horse. It's hard to knock his form. He does like the wet, and he's getting it now, that's for sure.
Certainly is.
I think it'll be quite hard to beat in this.
Number 6, Western Outlaw, Darren Gauci for Jimmy Houlihan, the octogenarian legend from Rosebud.
Well, he ran on Wednesday at Kyneton, and I thought he had every chance there. He does back up here, and he's probably there with an each-way chance.
7, Dubois, Greg Hall, the rider, another one of the Paul Perry stable.
Yes, he got back and did nothing on Saturday. He was very disappointing there. I thought he had a little bit of a chance. So on that run, it'd be hard to be on him.
And Larry Cassidy is the rider for number 11, Joe Bananas, and the trainer is Lee Friedman, who's not Bananas.
No, he's not. Well, he was scratched from Thursday, this horse, to run in this race. He does like the wet. He's capable of a lot better than his form does suggest, so he's not the roughest by any means.
What's your trifecta, Jennifer, if you can still read your race book?
Number 3, Typhoon from number 2, Kingston Way, number 4, Triumph.
On their way to the barrier, let's head down down to the relative comfort of the betting ring and Tim Gossage.
Yeah, Pete, they got a roof here. There, it just covers me. I don't get wet at all. It's lovely.
Yeah, good, terrific.
Typhoon and Valiant Bid. There's only two horses really that the punters want. They came for Valiant Bid early, but now they're coming for Typhoon. Not much separates them in the ring. Gee, it's nice to be dry.
Oh yeah, you're probably a bit too warm down there. Tim Gossage and hello there.
Hi.
Here we are. Oh, it's been fun here. And,
Oh, dear.
Yeah, you're right there now, Jen.
I've just got mascara and everything rolling down.
Makeup. I think we better have a look at these horses going around to the gates because, Jen, I think you need some running repairs there. 2,000 metres is the journey of the Village Roadshow Welter, and they're heading over towards the start now. The rain is easing. Typhoon is Jen's pick. It's mine, it's Letsy's, and it's Dan's as well. Western Outlaw for Richard Friedman, and Valiant Bid is the selection from Gary Willits. And we shouldn't forget our hard-working crew who are out there braving the rain too. Good on you, Gil. Yeah, you look nice and dry there. And the cameras are staying dry and bringing you these pictures. We hope that you've enjoyed them. Speaking of some of the pictures that you've seen, I'd just like to thank a couple of guys that I've been working with over the past 2 months or so, and cameraman Wayne Giles and also Paul Koopmans. They've been my on-the-road crew out to the races every week and doing a magnificent job, so well done, guys. And to everyone who's worked on the coverage, we have around about 130, 140 people bringing these pictures not only to us here in Australia but around the world, and we were so pleased to receive so many emails from very varied parts of the world, many varied parts of the world on Tuesday, from Kathmandu to Paris to the United States to London. They were coming from all over the place, and we're really proud to bring it to you, and we hope that you've enjoyed watching the pictures that we've seen over the past week or so here from Flemington. One fella who does love the pictures, and we'll see them over and over again, is that man, John Marshall, because he'll be replaying the Melbourne Cup for the rest of his life. In this, he's riding Kingston Way number 2, and Mark Aston caught up with him a short time ago.
John, Kingston Way's chances?
Yes, well, he's a little bit out of form. His last run was a little bit better, but obviously against a lot inferior company than he's bumping today. But who knows? The trainers brought him over and freshened him up, and he's quite sure that he'll run quite a nice race.
That was John Marshall speaking to Mark Aston about the chances of Kingston Way. They're about to move into the gates, and Roy Higgins has made the dash up from the birdcage and somehow managed to stay dry. How'd you do that?
You must be going blind, Pete. I got drenched. I went for a little bit of value here in number 6, Western Outlaw. Good second just recently in the Kyneton Cup last Wednesday. That was his third run in. Just topped him off nicely for this. Certainly the 5 Valiant Bid. This horse looks excellent. First time I've laid eyes on him over from Adelaide. He looks well. 2 Kingston Way. Look for this horse late in the race. He's coming along very well. And the top weight, the Adelaide visitor in Frenzal Rom. Big, tough-looking guy, this fellow, and he is hard and fit. I marked them 6, 5, 2 and 1. Pete?
We just saw Brett Preble out there behind the gates waiting for the attendants to load up Spirit of Hope number 9.
And one winner to break the record.
Yeah.
Jack Purtell's record.
And there was some suggestion. Some people have said it was your record, Roy, of 11 winners, but that was an autumn carnival here, wasn't it?
I rode 12 winners in the autumn carnival here, and that's over the 3 days, Saturday, Monday, Saturday. Twice I rode 7 winners over the carnival, so he's better than me, and he's equal Jack Purtell. But keep in mind, today's racing, where there's 9 and 10 races on, in the days of Jack Purtell, there was 8 races, but there was a hurdle and a steeple on at the same time, so Jack would have been achieving that when there was only 6 flat races. But take nothing away from B. Preble, he is riding well.
Not only in the days of Jack Purtell, but modestly Roy's not including himself, but they did have the cup hurdle and the cup steeple in your days.
And I never rode in those, Pete.
No, not at that stage, but I think you might just
about now.
Yeah, just about the top weight now. Isn't that right, Gary Willits?
Yeah, he'd be flecking on the top weight, I reckon. You need that little saddle you had. They're moving pretty quick here. Valiant Bid, Western Outlaw and Kingston Way.
Now they're all set. Village Roadshow Welter. Favourite is Valiant Bid. Gets back in its races. Away they go. Joe Bananas missed the start down on the inside by a length or so. Frenzal Rom allowed to drift back.